Hello, today we're going to be moving along with our optical illusions, and I wanted to show you some different variations and how to put some more details and a little bit more interest into your drawings with your optical illusions. And as we've been doing, each one of these kind of moves up in difficulty level, so if you didn't watch yesterday's informational video, you would benefit from that greatly. So to begin with, just a really quick recap on this. We're going to, first of all, on today's project, you're going to need to draw yourself an opening. And what we're going to try and do is make that look like it's an opening in the earth. And believe it or not, it actually takes me a few times to get one that I kind of like. I drew this one just kind of scribbling, not really with a plan, and then I ended up not liking it. So if you don't like your first one, that's perfectly fine. I don't always like all of mine either. All right, so for your next thing that you're going to do is notice back here I have a, oh, can't see it. Notice back there I actually do have a vanishing point on this one. And then what you do is you're going to take a line from each one, inside and outside, inside, here, here, here. Now you have to kind of imagine that this is the hole opening. If it goes over the hole, if it's like outside of the hole, you can't do that. So stay inside. Make sure you represent the opening here. And each one of those, I'm going to take a small line back towards the vanishing point, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a parallel line on each one of these so that it looks like it has a thickness, so that it looks like it's like maybe a sidewalk or something that it has a crack in. All right, this one is done pretty much the exact same way. You can tell that I used a ruler a little bit more. But the other thing that I did is I have a vanishing point down here. And what I did to change this one is I took a ruler, and instead of stopping real short right there so that it looks like there's a small thickness, I took it all the way back to that vanishing point, and you can tell it's like almost a well. It's almost a hole in the earth that's going to continue going down. So it really, really depends on what you want to do with that and the look that you're kind of trying to achieve. All right, the next thing that I did here is add a little bit more flair to it. And what I have here are some cracks. So this is supposed to look like it kind of broke open in the earth, so I added some cracks to it. All right, some other variations. We're going to keep on going. With this one, I started randomly drawing a character, and this is what I came up with. So it kind of looked like a bird at the beginning, and then I kind of wandered off and did the tentacles that I wanted to make look like they are coming up and back over. I thought it'd be more fun to draw more things kind of climbing out. So those are some variations. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video and I'll come back to how to do some general shading, and I'll talk to you about that in a few moments. All right, so welcome back. You guys didn't take a break, but I did. So for the next step that I wanted to show you is, I showed you how to do this the other day, and then we talked about some variations. What I want you to do now is to develop this picture a little bit further and kind of start making it into not just a simple cute doodle, but make it, well, make it into more of a drawing. So on this one, we talked about how to add some cracks. Now let's go ahead and talk about how to add some shading and some other things into it. So on this one, what I have here is, these are all drawn back to my vanishing point. And then what I'm going to do is, so let's talk about shading ever so quickly here. When I talk about shading, when you want to show depth or that something is behind something else, you add some shading to it. So in this picture, this is supposed to look like it's down in a well down here. So this is the deepest part that you can see visibly. So it's going to be the darkest. And also, this part right here overlaps on top of this, so it needs a little bit of shading. So on this one, very simply, the deeper it is down in there, it's going to be darker. And then also, each time that it hits the opposite side, so this one is supposed to look like it's folding over this, this is going to get some shading. So on this one, I kind of know that all of my shading stays to the right. Nope, I'm sorry, it stays to the left. My shading stays to the left. All right, so each one of these, a little bit of shading on the left-hand side, and then it kind of comes up and it gets a little bit lighter and lighter as it goes up towards the top where the light source is up here. Okay, so that's a variation that you could take. Here's another one. I showed you before that on this one, we wanted it to look like it was a sidewalk, like there was a thickness to it. So what we did is we drew our lines down and then parallel. And on this one, I just used I used a Sharpie marker, but if all you have is a pen, that's perfectly fine. Any type of marker, pen, those things will work. One of the things I did though on this one, and I want to show you real quickly, is some quick shading on this. Looks a little scribbly. Let me go back and fix that one. So what I did is I made lines, and these parallel lines to kind of fill in the area are going to be parallel to whatever your first beginning lines. If you start going opposite in weird directions, it's going to kill your optical illusion. It's going to lose its effect. So what I did on here is I just started adding little lines that are close together, filling those in. This is the darker, so you're wanting this to look like it's the top. So here's a little bit of light, and then it gets darker as it goes down here. So kind of keep your lighting and the illusion effect that you want continuous, and it'll start to make sense. So here's my opening. The next one I have is, I kind of switched it up on you. On this one, we have this guy crawling out of, well, we don't know quite what he's crawling out of. On this one, I was confused. I kind of thought, well, maybe I could make it the sky, but it's weird that he's crawling out of the sky. I could also make it like it's water, so I think what I'm going to do on this one is to fill these in. So it's kind of almost like your boat broke open, and now you're in trouble because this guy is coming for you. So if that is happening here, so once again, not loving the little white openings that I thought looked great as clouds. So now it looks more like I said, like your boat is broken open. On this one, I changed the lighting, and I hope you kind of noticed and clued into that one. So what I did here, this one I did with a little Sharpie marker. You could also do this with a any pen that you have. So what I did is, because the lighting is different, I changed the direction of my lighting. So this is like, you can play around with your lighting and see which way you like it the best. But I was imagining that this is the opening, and like the light was coming up from it. All right, so guys, have some fun with playing around with the opening, and I've got something special that we're going to talk about tomorrow. So hopefully enjoy your time with your optical illusions. Once again, this is all leading up to bigger projects as we move throughout the week. All right, enjoy. Have a great day.